Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. Know it's been a while, but we are back in style. I see Venom up in the building. I think I got a wrench for you here, Venom, but I'll make sure just in case, because I got you on I had to go on my phone, man. Long story, but we're here. But yeah, whenever you want to come on board, feel free. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, without any further ado, we're gonna go in. Let me try to make sure everything's copacetic on my other device so I can be able to do what I can with the moderation and stuff like that. But we're gonna go in on this topic right away. I just felt like this was something that needs to be talked about. But yeah, once again, like what Venom said, it's about that time. Hit the like button on the way in. Make sure y'all do that. Okay, I'll drop the link once again. I got you. Uh, let me see. I'll just put it in the chat just for now. So just in case, hopefully people don't try to do anything as far as copy the link. I'll just probably delete the link once you actually get on the panel. So that's what I'll do. I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do it just like that. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this here. Nope, that won't work. Uh-huh. So yeah, I think Venom, if you can, check your phone because I sent a text message to you. It's not letting me do a full copy and paste like I once want to on my phone, ironically. But yeah, check your phone because I sent you the link on your text message. Otherwise, I'll have to do something different. Actually, you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that, Venom. I got another idea here. Let me do it like this. All right. Yep, I could actually do it this way. You ain't got to do that. I think I got it already figured out. Yeah, but yeah, without any further ado, let's get off into the topic while try to work out these bugs and stuff, if you will. Uh, this topic I felt was very important because we hear all this about single mothers, and by the way, PSA, this is not a single mother bashing live stream. This live stream is not about bashing single mothers. Okay. And Venom, let me know. Put a one in the chat if I sound good. Just want to make sure my audio's up to par. Yeah. Okay. Now that we are here, actually, I could probably hear myself more too. Let me see. How do I sound? Okay, you gave me a one. And yeah, I do. Yep, you do have a wrench here. That's cool. Okay, awesome. Let me actually put the link in the chat. And yeah, there you go. Got the link for you in the chat. And we're good to go. Yep. So yeah, you gave me a one. We're good to go. Yeah, I felt this topic was very important because basically here's the deal, y'all. Like I said, this is not a single mother bashing live stream. That's not what this live stream is about. Yeah, and you see at the bottom screen, Ray No King. I strive to be more than a king. So Ray No King. Don't call me king. There are a lot of people out here calling you king, but with the mindset of a black knight, it's not about being a king. So yeah, Ray No King. Don't call me king. I see myself greater than a king, right? And hopefully anybody else that comes from a similar walk or understands the way that I talk, you want to think the same way. Okay. But the reason why I say single mothers, getting right to the point, why single mothers and 304 mothers are a little different. It's for the simple reason, like you see the topic title, 304 mothers are worse than single mothers. Uh, let's just say because 304 mothers are just much worse. And we're going to get more into this as Venom is up in the building. Let me get him on the panel. Yeah. Add to stream. Yes, sir. What's good, man?
Oh, you know how it is. It's all things well in the weather. We getting down this evening. Gonna go ahead and cook on this subject matter. Explain the differences.
Yes, sir. And I try to have my screen showed too, but it's got me on a green screen right now, as you can see. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe it's just this phone, this device, but we'll work it out next time.
No doubt.
Oh, actually, here's the catch. Like I could be seen on the other device. Oh, okay. Well, let me do it this way then. Got a plan B. I don't know why on my cell phone is doing one thing, but on the tablet it's doing something else. But we gonna work that out. But yeah, just 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 to give you an idea of where I'm coming from. Well, I feel that 304 mothers are worse than single mothers because a lot of mothers, they aren't necessarily single because they choose to be single. Like, and I know that's been the talk of the town. But
Hmm.
if we want to really narrow it down, some gals that are single didn't choose to be that way. Things happen in life, but you do have this 304 type of mothers that choose to be single, and they want to just
Hmm.
live that way versus actual single mother, maybe just trying to find out how not to be single anymore, maybe due to circumstances, maybe she's a widow, see, things like that.
Hmm. And then you got those that, hey, they were in a marriage. It went on yay so long, and for whatever reason, they parted ways. When done respectfully and still an example for the children, and they still in touch. Hey, that's a single mother, but there's still yet a difference with a single mother that had children within a marriage as opposed to one that targeted men to have a child and be a single mother, and that was their intention from the start. We also got repeat offenders out there. They choose
Major.
3, 4, 5 different men to be a single mother too because they had no intention on being a wife or a helpmeet or a companion within a relationship. They literally wanted all the benefits on a selfish agenda that doesn't benefit them in the long run, doesn't benefit the children, short or long term. And then it turns around and sets them up with a certain level of failure by statistics. But their selfishness doesn't allow them the foresight to even see that for as far as those with that strategy. Now, as for those that were married, could have had a husband that either, could have been a veteran, could have just been ill, could have just been natural causes in life, and he passed on and they're a widow. That's a difference because a woman that had a sound mind enough to be working with a man to be what's best for children, to have balance, to have both influences and parents is a whole lot different than one that's got the mindset of just give me the bag, just do for me, me, I, and never on no we.
Facts. And that's the thing, man. That's designation and the separation I want people to see, because kind of like you saw in the thumbnail,
Hmm.
like I don't think an actual single mother is trying to burn down a house. She's trying to keep her house.
Hmm.
If we just looking at statistics and things when it comes to finances, the government and all that, she ain't trying to destroy her house. If she on Section 8, being a single mother, she's not trying to destroy her house. But a 304 mother, she don't care about that. She's in her feelings, and given that this is Scorch All Incorporated now versus it used to be Scorch Earth, it's still about the flames. And yeah, some of these chicks, they don't realize the world they're creating, thinking they're burning down somebody else's house, and they don't see the scorch earth literally that's gonna come their way by trying to scorch somebody else's earth. Like, a lot of these 304 mothers, they quick to burn down houses, cars. Let them not be burned alive though. No pun intended.
Hmm. And what I don't understand about it is it's very simple and plain. When you're a man of a certain stature and you move in your morals, you hold your principles or your ethics and values. and you literally vocalize exactly what it is to standardize your boundaries. And they play those okey doke games, you know what I'm saying? They want to act like, oh, I didn't remember, or I didn't know, or, you should have reminded me. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody gonna be playing no games like that. And if
Right.
I'm offering to you what it is that you asking for, and I'm keeping my end of the bargain and etc., why can't you respect the brother's wishes? And the only thing he asked you for was respect.
Right.
But then, even a good woman, not saying perfect, but even a good woman will feel like you did her wrong when you break up with her over principles. And it's kind of a karma thing because, it's like, say, for instance, I had this beautiful young lady. I say young lady, but she was actually like a year older than me, still took care of herself, intelligent, a lot of things, but heavily influenced by media and this wannabe hot girl summer kind of stuff. It was like a matter of, I'm going to try and run high school games. And I was like, even if you ain't going all the way out there with it, etc., it ain't appreciated because I'm not with that. And if that's what you with, then we not compatible. It's nothing to be upset about. It's nothing to be frustrated with or whatever. And I'm not going to put a lot of energy into repeating it. But when time and time and time again, you know what I'm saying, you notice that your wishes and etc., somebody's literally trying to tell you, well, we knocked you down a few pegs. We're gonna throw you on the back burner. You was thinking you was here, but we're gonna actually throw you somewhere like about here, you know what I'm saying, on the priority list. And I don't know how other guys do it, but myself, if I'm with you and you expecting from me, and even if it's on a mutual basis, but you can't match the bare minimum of what I asked for, and that's just respect, can't deal with you. Sex can be good, you know what I'm saying? You can have a lot of skills, a lot of good qualities, but that respect, that's non negotiable. Women want that love, which is why a lot of them get started early seeking it, yearning for it and what they didn't have and wasn't able to really experience either because they was caged up, locked down, heavily principled with disciplines from a stern father to wild for the night. Might be hot girl summer, might be college break, might be your freshman year. The differences between the two is in the behavior. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's grown gonna pay your bills. You're gonna be responsible. You're gonna learn a few things here and there. But when some very basic stuff you ain't ingested, digested, and regurgitated properly, you know, not when you older than me am I gonna be putting up with it. When you're younger than me, I'm not gonna be putting up with it. So, it was a matter of
Right.
this is the principle. Now, I done already went the extra mile and repeated it on more than one occasion.
Mm-hmm.
One specifically was my birthday. You know what I'm saying? I'm not caught up in these holidays and none of this other fictitious mess. I don't subscribe to no cable channels, none of that Real Housewives or nothing like that at all. Not NFL, NHL, NBA, none of them. I'm not a fan. Now, I'll appreciate skills and achievements and all that, and I don't knock nobody for what choice they make. But if that's not what you into, then it don't matter how grand the occasion is presented to be. It's really not on your top list of priorities. Now, you make, what they call compromises. You do a few things, that somebody else is into and etc. They'll do a little things to show interest into what you into to build a relationship, have a starting foundation that starts off as a platonic friendship, might bloom into more than a one night stand. But when that respect thing ain't there, you have no building blocks. And it was a very strange situation because the lady I'm speaking of, it's like a matter of because I'm a real character and dealing with her, etc. I don't know what the word was or whatever, or what got out, even to her fam, but they was all like, hey, son-in-law, cousin, this and that, you know what I'm saying? Brother-in-law, this and that. I'm like, I'm not trying to marry somebody that I just met, that I ain't even dated for some months at the least. And
Right.
I'm not even into that. But see, lately, and especially in certain states where they have common law marriage, it happens to be the game. You date or cohabitate long enough, and they can literally have you going through the trouble of being divorced.
Yeah. Yep.
So to nip all
You
that in the bud, and I bring no confusion, had to end that situation before I would have been by stipulation or time in locked into something that I didn't choose or willingly vocalize. You can't project a man into a relationship. You can only communicate clearly, be honest with your intentions, and go from there. And that's yet another reason of what's causing the 304 mothers as opposed to the single mothers.
Facts, facts. And that even goes for, the single mother who has children from somebody else all the way. From somebody else, meaning like with the 304 mother, she tries to do as you said, to like project this responsibility of another man's child onto her. Whereas the single mother is different. She just literally appreciates you even taking out the time to consider her children. And that's like literally up to you, like how you do it at your discretion, just you doing anything for her children. That's like a bonus, like for
Mhm.
real. Like that needs to be implemented more because I mean, on the flip side, you got the father of the actual kids themselves. Now it's like this idea that he needs to literally do a mandatory paternity test, and they're really pushing for that right now because a lot of dudes be thinking that's their child and that ain't their child. And all she's trying to do is use a little bit of her hypergamy for the next guy to force this responsibility upon him. But she ain't even trying to acknowledge who the father is,
Mhm.
or just the rabbit hole gets deep. Like, cause the last guy thinking he was the father, he not even the father, so nobody knows who the father is now. And now there are states that you don't even have to even be the biological father, and they'll hit you with child support still. So there's that, and then
Hey,
there's
don't
this
forget
idea
about the
that
ones where they was having women out talking about, hey, can I get child support from a male babysitter?
mm,
Brothers gotta be careful. And yeah, it touched the nerve when you spoke on how you ain't even got a signed birth certificate or nothing. Because at one point in time, I guess my con nature, before I really evolved into a black knight for many a years, many a moons, couple decades, and then decided to go monk. I had my cape on so tight at one point in time, I raised a child for a year that wasn't mine.
man, oh man, and then to think the connection that happens, like, cause some guys they be in a conundrum because they're like, well, I'm now connected to this child that's not mine, and but the mama want to break up with. See, that's the thing. Like, ladies, the obviously the single mothers get it because they're not technically trying to be single. They want this man if he's with her and with their children, like she would love to have that connection. Like, oh, the children actually respect him. I ain't got to deal with the baby father trying to be in the picture or baby father drama. Like, they truly like this guy because there has been a lot of proof that children do sometimes like the new man versus the actual father, just because, he could raise them right. Shaquille O'Neal talks about this all the time, how he was raised up, right? But
Mhm.
at the same time, the problem is the mother. She's the one that's breaking up. She's the one being more of a 304 mother. And so uh, these children don't get to connect with no father. And maybe they do remember some of her ex boyfriends that they thought would have been good men for her, but she didn't think that. So there you go. The 304 mother versus the single mother once again.
Mhm. And see, even in that particular case, it was a matter of, I'm raising a child, you know what I'm saying? And I'm understanding the burden, etc. And I've always been disciplined, not too loose, unless I was intentionally reckless trying to make something. Well, she was one that I had intentionally been with, you know what I'm saying? Even been unprotected at certain rounds, so it was a possibility. And that's what had me in that boat. But then it turned out not weighed by just blood tests, but also DNA tests. And when they both come back negative, oh, it was a big time shocker. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, I really don't know how to feel about it. Really don't have much feelings about it. There's some numbness there. But by the fact that you knew that there was a possibility otherwise and your calculations was off, yeah, you got some explaining to do. And ain't gonna cut it. And when I seen it wasn't no straightforwardness, wasn't no honesty and integrity, the other two qualities that I demand in any type of association or relationship, you need to get far and the fuck away from me. Period. And that's what ended that. But, that was a situation more like the 304 mother, because the 304 mother, she gonna be reckless with her womb. She gonna try and trap a man or the next man with the previous man's child from her flame, you know, alpha Fs and beta bucks, yeah, that kind of thing. That's what she thought. No. And it was a really, really strange thing for where my firstborn, we had a bond to the point to where she recognized my voice from the womb, recognized me being nearby, etc. And some type of selfish, sadistic mindset of the mother, she decided to alienate my child from me for 20 years of her life, of which my child had to endure abuse and etc. And me, it didn't matter because you know how it is rights for men. Unless you're
Yeah,
willing to pay the system, pay off the system, pay extra in the system just for some rights that should be yours as the child's parent, you're already
yeah,
financially liable and responsible. But when you got to go through all that extra mile over some things and the person ain't allowing you to communicate, visitation, nothing,
yeah.
no, that's definitely a 304. No filter. Could go a lot
Yep.
further with it, but not on the stream.
See, if this was like Sharia law or Torah, they couldn't get away with being 304 mothers. And obviously, a single mother wouldn't even be part of the conversation because she would be still with the same husband or under a man's covenant in the form of polygyny. So either one of those two things. But with the 304 mother, that definitely wouldn't happen. Like, because they would, even now, I mean, they be stoning gals like that to death in other parts of the world, or they literally based on uh, our channel, scorch all. They burn her alive in some places if she wanted to go about being like a 304 mother. And they'll do it out in public, downtown for everybody to see. So these gals thinking they get away with burning houses here in the United States and doing all of that. In other parts, they'll burn you in the house, playing, with that type of behavior. So uh, I'd say this, like, and it's the other thing. So I mean, stating out the differences between a 304 mother and a single mother. Of course, I hate to say it, but people like Sierra, some of these celebrity chicks, even Aisha Curry. I'm just putting it out there because they put it out there. They go about with this whole 304 mother culture because not all 304 mothers are single.
Exactly. And to speak up for the ladies that I know is listening in on stream and probably in the clouds, catching a replay, etc., we definitely acknowledge that there are a whole lot. May not be all of them, but it is a majority out there talking big on some things that they can't back up and they more 304 than anything that they can try and put the numbers down for. Well, yes, we acknowledge those males because them ain't men. That's like the difference between a single mother and a 304 mother. There's males and there's men. So, yeah, a lot of people make them choices to be irresponsible. A lot of people make them choices thinking that it's going to get them some clout or some notches. But anybody that's been paying attention, to statistics as far as the CDC, I think you'll notice that come 2020, right about the time that the and the jab came, you know what I'm saying, very popular and damn near forced upon everyone. It was a time that caused a lot of psychological, emotional stress, some mental health type issues for a lot of people. And their adjustment was to go into some low vibrational behavior, you know, getting it in. And they was out literally making them some backstage babies, you know what I'm saying? And it's just
Oh,
crazy
hey,
that
you said backstage or backstage?
backstage with the V, you know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy because you got this so-called pandemic going on. You got folks that's getting sick, hospitalized, etc. And then you got folks that's throwing on a mask, but then wanting to get out and get busy with any Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah, I think that stuff made a lot of them very hypersexual. A lot of them, you know, and we just see it. Like any chick coming off like that, like it's just, yo, I'll be like, yo, something different here. Cause usually with any, especially if she's a single mother versus a 304 or 304 mother, she's a little more reserved, because she's trying to get herself right, especially if she does want to still have a man in her life and someone that is still consider her children. Like she ain't trying to be out there like that. But these other gals, they very hypersexual. Really ain't trying to watch their kids. You know what I'm saying? They be out there like, I mean, even in my occupation, like you kind of know the kind of some of what I do. So like they don't be responsible for a lot of their kids when they go do these big activities, whether it's involving like mass transportation to take them somewhere, or it's just like some big event. Like they don't be wanting to pick up their kids from those events. And if they show up to pick up their kids from those events, them 304 mothers be looking just like the young ones. They be dressed up just like them. Like they be trying to be little cougars up in there hitting on these little, some of them, they way younger than them, man. Trying to, you know, bring one of your son's homeboys home. And there's been issues about that. Countless videos about dudes fighting their homeboy because your mama messed with him.
Well, that culture has been propagated. It's literally been drilled in and brainwashed to the masses. Anything on mainstream media, they're gonna always expose the worst of anybody or try and paint a stereotype and keep it influential and effective. Every time you come around pre-election, what is it? Something else to push a certain narrative. With the 304 mothers, all I can say is, in plenty of years of experience of dating in between my first and second failed marriage, it's just shameful to say that for a man that knows, yes, you attract beautiful and intelligent, you attract ratchet, you attract pretty much whatever's in between. And it's all off my character. Ain't got nothing to do with physicality or appearance or whatever. That's for later. So once we establish that we know a little something about each other and we done took the time to get to know, it's one thing for a girl my daughter's age to contact me and do this in the DM of any website that I'm already put out there. I'm not here for dating. I'm here for entertainment, comedy, music, and dropping content from time to time. And even in putting up videos of that on my content, it ain't stopped. It's been daily. They'll approach me online. Where are you from? Where are you at now? What do you do for a living? If they get to those three questions, I'm surprised. 9 times out of 10, I got a nude inbox to me and then wanting to hook up, smoke, and chill, if you know what I mean. They don't even know my name. You know maybe the profile name, but you ain't even asked me my name and you already offering that. I don't want nothing that's too easy. And this is recent events. I'm talking about, if not today, yesterday, even before noon. But it's a pattern. And post-COVID, you think it would have died down a bit? Been going strong. Now, it's been 4+ years that I've literally abstained from any sexual activity. Just marinated, just doing me, maintaining, growing my nice little fuzzy, no dye, you know what I'm saying? Zero effort at all in trying to attract or whatever. But just off my vernacular and the way I carry myself, it's still done. So I understand it. I accept compliments and I can even reiterate on them at times, you know what I'm saying, and reciprocate. But I'm not going to be out thirsty chasing nothing because I have no plans, no ideas to be off in that mix. Been there, done that. I got enough good memories to last me another 2, 3 lifetimes. But I also know and remember those bad experiences and the fact that a lot more of those bad experiences would outshadow just from the caliber of women they were compared to the decent ones that I know. And I'm cool with the decent ones. I'm cool with some that might not have been up to my par and we didn't work out, but hey, you still straight. Just not for me.
I
But them
see.
ones that, you know what I'm saying, be going on that craziness, that intentionally trying to be the 304 type of mothers instead of any type of respectable lady, No, I cut some loose. And that goes about my way. I avoid them like parasites.
Yep. Yep. And that's the thing, like that, once again, letting a lot of the ladies know this is once again a disclaimer. This is not a single mother bashing live stream. Why you think there's 304 mothers versus single mothers, or 304 mothers are worse than single mothers? That's because there is a difference, because not every single mother is trying to be a 304 type of a mother. So like, but the reality, obviously, now in this scorch earth reality, things all is getting scorched. Like what, like three, I don't know what the ratio is, but it seems like two or three and five women a man runs into already has a child by somebody. So I'm not going to be like a lot of the manosphere just trying to walk around that, and then hope within that there's a gal that don't have children already. I mean, that's nice, and yeah, to be nice, but the thing is that's becoming very far few in between. To me, that's like, it goes back nowadays to what the a true twilight can be, which that twilight is rare. And so how even more rare, and what you had also mentioned about a Valkyrie. At this day and age, a man would probably be just more or less happy to have a Valkyrie in his life versus a true twilight like that. Because the Valkyrie, on, as you explained it, she has more experience, she's been through things, she might even have a child, but she could be an asset. But these gals that ain't trying to be like that, they are the 304 type, you know.
And you can do your best, you know what I'm saying, to communicate it, but it's a matter of, I know one lady, like I said, the one that was slightly older than me and probably was trying to view me as a potential husband because she wanted to date with a purpose, but it was like no matter how much I articulated it clearly, that it's respect I value. You ain't got to shower me gifts, money, nothing. You ain't got to kiss my tail. You know what I'm saying? All we got to do is get along, be honest, respectful. That's it. All the rest that you looking for and this and that, yeah, I'm gonna do my best to not only provide that and etc. But I'm one to be very mindful. So when that wasn't understood, and I tried several different ways to not only show it, then I was like, hey, it don't matter how good the sex is, if we can't see eye to eye on this thing here that's non-negotiable, I got to go. And she was one of those that could have been redeemable beyond concubine status. Yes, she had a child, which was nearly grown because she had single mothered it up to the best advice that I would give any woman. You a single woman, raise your child, focus on your child, get your child together, then worry about your selfish ambitions and desires about getting with the next man. And she was near to that, you know what I'm saying? But it was just a matter of that one thing, that respect, you know what I'm saying? She felt like, well, I'm not used to that because I've been on my own so long, and I'm sitting here like, I can understand that mindset, but at the same time, if this is what you're telling me you want, and I'm telling you this is the price for it, and you ain't got to write no check, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to put on no fake act, nothing. I'm accepting you as you are, but that's the one thing you definitely got to work on because it's non-negotiable. It's kind of crazy, but hey, you can't beat a dead horse, and you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And when you're dealing with a Clydesdale that you would have preferred to stick with, because hey, when I'm talking about nice, melanated, curvy, beautiful smile, take care of her skin, work, has some integrity, but it was just that one flaw. And that wasn't what I was trying to eliminate on. When I say gave passes and chances, we dated for months. But when that consistent pattern just kept showing itself, you can't ignore that. You got to either act on it, stand firm on what you are willing to accept, or adjust your boundaries and go on ahead and go for it. Me, I chose go ahead and cut it loose because, hey, if it's just sex, I can get that anywhere. I can get that before a motherfucker know my name. I can get that before somebody want to cook me a meal. I can get that before I can get to sleep out my eyes in the morning.
Right,
And I
right.
ain't talking about paying for it. I ain't talking about pandering for it. I ain't talking about begging up on it and trying to, you know, go and take nothing. Ain't none of that necessary. But when a person don't understand that, hey, look, this who you got in your corner, and you trying to show them, hey, this is how it is with me. It's just straight cut, dry, real, no filter. Now we in public, I ain't for speakerphone, but no filter. And
Mm,
it's like some kind of disconnect. And it ain't just generationally, but it is between the genders. And I know part of it is formulated in men thinking logically and women being grounded in emotions. So that's one barrier of communication. But if you think any man that's going to deal with a woman, when he goes out to choose, he only wants a 304 mother for fun. He wants a single mother possibly for something to build on. He's willing to
right.
overlook the fact that you done already made a mistake or something didn't work out or you were widowed or you conceived within a marriage and you were divorced. You know, there's a lot of men out here been given chance upon chance and redeeming qualities and things like that, looking for something to build with that get overlooked. And then later, post wall, post time going by, they look at the opportunity started drying up like crazy pre C19, during C19, and I call this season like post C19. I've
Yeah.
seen a dramatic shift to the point to where I remember one YouTuber, won't say, and he's departed now, but he used to be big on that invest in kitty litter and this and that. I'd say invest in male escort services because literally that's what's going to be coming up very soon. And that's just due to the fact that a lot
Man.
of men is like, hey, if I want peace of mind, somebody that'll cooperate, and because I'm structured, you know what I'm saying, is willing to work with me as a help me, that's one thing. But when you look at how rare that is, but how abundant it is of those that say what you better have, what you better be, and etc., what you doing for me, what you did for me lately kind of stuff. No man wants a parasitical influence on his finances or resources. He wants somebody that's
Nor
going to
his
bring
health.
plus.
Nor his health. You don't want none of that affecting his health either. Man.
And not just physically, but peace of mind as well, because stress can be a killer.
Yes. 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 Uh, just on a few final notes, because yeah, this is everybody. Just let y'all know on the replay. This is my official co-host. You know, Venom. This is literally something we've been building together. So we'll try to do as much of these as possible here and there. He'll drop some content here just like I do. But with that said, based on what you just said, just some final thoughts. So everything you just said was on point. Actually, before my final thought, let me say this, and then you could chop it up there, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. We can go on. So everything you just said, it reminds me of, you said post wall, so that makes me think of like cars at a salvage yard after a wreck, and maybe you might still like it, get it out, or let's say it's just a car from the used lot. Find out the Carfax, something been wrong with it, but you still like it, so you take it on, you address what the issue is, as you just said with the gap, addressing the issue, but it still keeps popping up. You're still hearing that knock, and you thought you fixed it. You drive it again, still hearing that knock. After so long, you're gonna be like, well, either I'm not gonna keep this car no more, or it's just not gonna be driven that much. I'm gonna just have something else to drive for the most part. It's just gonna be sitting around for the most part. And a lot of gals end up just like that car, literally. Just the same issue a man keeps addressing and they want to still press him with that same issue, eventually he's just going to put you on the shelf or just leave you there altogether. So and I think that's the difference. Like my point is with the single mother versus 304 mother, I think versus even just single females, because single females still trying to play the field. So they still out there playing games. They ain't became a single mother yet, but the single mother probably was one of those ones that learned, and she learned the hard way. So now she's in this position to now I want to learn. I made my mistakes. I want to learn. So uh, I guess with that said, I guess I'll just jump right to your final thoughts too. Uh, so what do you think? Scorch Earth, you find this gal, she's a spinster. Obviously, she's not a damsel because only Twilights can be damsels. Uh, but you like, okay, you hear my instruction, because this is really a black knight talking. Only a black knight's gonna talk to her like this. The monk already did went on his way. He doing his own thing. And the white knights, they just wherever they are, you know. And then you have also these other guys. They call themselves passports, but or SYSBM. But in scorch earth times, they would just basically be nomads. So all these other guys besides the black knight has pretty much passed her up. So I guess my thought to you is like, so would it be equivalent to you trying to give her instruction to stay out the fire, but her reprobate mind just literally puts her back into the fire?
A lot of times it could be looked at as that, but instead of a reprobate mind, the way I would put it is their inability to get beyond past trauma. And when you can't get beyond past trauma, start with a clean slate with someone, you are setting yourself up for failure because your reservations and hesitations are going to cause you to react or interact with somebody artificially. Anybody out here, even in the .com age, but early 2000s and afterwards, the artificial stuff is what bores you. That's the stuff that doesn't keep your attention. It may look good at a glimpse and at a glance, but when you get up close enough and you realize it's not the fruit that you wanted, it ain't authentic, it's missing some things that are supposed to be there that are, a part of the package that you expected, that's when it becomes a problem. You see, redemption is for concubines, aka single mothers. Single mothers that are ex-wives, divorcees, or widows, out of even those three, would be the top ranking. A black knight would deal with a widow because a widow got them battle scars. She's had that experience. She tried the first time, it didn't work out well. She wasn't bitter. She humbled herself and came with submission and cooperation to a man. You're going to work with that. And they don't understand it because they see, or it's promoted in media, that the hot girl summer, the ones that want to be ratchet and twerk in public and all this kind of stuff all the time, got to be in the club every weekend. And then decades pass and they still in the club every weekend. You got to wake up sometime and realize it's not working for you. And men that you are attracted to will go to the club to party, have fun, but they're not going there looking for no relationship. And the more they start taking and embracing that more refined, more covered, more chaste behavior, they'll find out that's their superpower to attract a real man. Not lying about it, not pretending about it, but doing it naturally. Because real men understand their senses and they understand themselves. And pheromones don't lie. So that's a tidbit I'll throw out there to wrap it up because we know SYSBM, we know Passport Bros, and we know those introspective black males that would rather, ponder and think how to fix it or what's going to work best for me, which are a lot of preambles to monk life. Because when they find out that traveling abroad, near and far, a lot of these countries have idolized the US through media, radio, the music, the movies. The worst has been purported around the world. The best has always had its light dimmed. I've heard some even say, oh, I can't deal with a woman that got this many kids or that many kids. Well, the situation and how she got them is one thing. The second thing is, are you a man that can even afford that? Because as a responsible man, wherever you at, and I'm speaking now when I was Black Knight before I decided to be monk. It's only been 4 years strong this time around, pushing towards the 5. But what I figured out was you can as calmly and with kid gloves as best as you want to explain it. But when a woman knows she doesn't qualify, it's still going to hurt her feelings because that is still a form of rejection. It don't matter how you try to sweet talk and put it out there. And it's a shame because I know plenty beautiful women that have more than one child. that are willing to be a helpmeet, that got a head on their shoulders, can contribute and actually do something to be a positive in a lifetime and legacy of what a man want to build. But either they're emotionally damaged or distance wise too far away for me to try and establish a distance relationship, or there's an age discrepancy that is a little too close to my boundaries. And, there's so many variables in what people look as and what attracts them, what they want to lock down and stay secure with. The main thing to remember is this: a man will marry a woman hoping that she doesn't change. A woman will marry a man hoping that she can change him. Now, when that gets figured out between the sexes, you know what I'm saying, and you learn how to get past those boundaries of communication as far as one being grounded in emotion and the other one being founded in logic, then I can see, a possibility of it being an outpost somewhere of surviving relationships while the rest is going up in flames and they holding each other down through the thick and thin. But lately, and I'm speaking on at least 2.5 decades, I've seen a mass surplus of those that are like this, but literally got nothing to. And that's been the problem. Because men, you get a job, a career, you are confident and satisfied in that and your ability to provide. A lot of women that I've known, they'll get their degrees and everything else, accolades. That's their money. They in a relationship with you, it's like your money is y'all's money, or her money and her money is her money. And with that backward ideology, or even that craziness of happy wife, happy life, um, if I'm not happy, it's not continuing. And I'm not depending on you for happiness. I'm just depending on you to have a place to rest, recuperate, and have peace of mind. And if you can't provide that bare minimum, no, I'm not sticking around even a second. I'm not even replying to a text. So imagine somebody that's got the accolades, the social status, the material things, or the income that they desire. Now, if these is my standards as an average income earner level kind of guy, then imagine what that high dollar guy is not only used to, but what they standards are and what they expect. That's the only way you can go fishing, is to be prepared, one, to use the right bait, two. When that bait is something that, you know what I'm saying, yeah, it worked on a couple of minnows, but when you're trying to catch a big one up out of there, you got to use the right bait, you got to use the right technique and timing. And hey, all I can say is I wish them luck, because I don't see too many men that are even willing to have relationships. I've seen a drove of men that
And
decide to be monks
yeah.
since
And
2020.
and see, like with the 304 mothers, they gonna be bait, like as far as that chameleon side. And see, like there's one side of the chameleon as far as her showing her true colors, but I think the other side of the chameleon is that she just knows how to blend in with every man that she gets with. So she takes on all this game and knowledge and wisdom and all this. And you thinking she knows she's great. No, she's been taking souls, snatching souls.
Mhm.
That's all that is. Whereas the single mother versus the 304 mother, she's actually just trying to learn from you. She ain't trying to come to you with what she's learned. And that's the difference. Like
Big time.
basically going back to a time that she wished that she could take back before she had children with all these other guys, or with that one guy it didn't work out with.
And hey, it's a lot of times, you look up and you be like, man, what happened? It's only been like maybe 10, 11 years. You used to be a bad shorty, you know what I'm saying? I've been maintaining, take care of myself. I mean, I understand relations and relationships, but man, you couldn't wait on a brother. You had to go out there on the far and the deep end like that. I said, now you done priced yourself out of
Say,
my affordability.
say,
And they say, hey, I'm willing
now,
to work with you and help. I'm like, but what you are not realizing is a logic, babe. You don't have one, two, three. You got like four, five. And ain't none of them mine, respectfully. So to cause that extra wear and tear and mileage on your body to produce a child for me, meaning that me being with you, I'm be covering you, the ones you got, and the one we make. I don't have the funds to take care of six and two adults. I
Facts.
know when
Logic.
to gracefully bow out. Now,
It's
when they
logic.
grown, hey, that's when you're gonna have your best success dating. And even then, you might be throwing on your superhero costume called the Grand Cougar. Now, ain't nothing wrong with Grand Cougars. They're a lot of fun. They can be sweet. 9 times out of 10, they can cook better than the ones your age, man. But you got to
Mm-hmm.
watch out because Grand Cougars understand that that clock done ran out and they going to lock you down because they not only want some man, they not only want some wood, they want some help. And most importantly, what you will hear them speak on is companionship. Now, when I get to the age where I want to sit in a rocking chair and maybe get down once a month, I might consider a Grand Cougar. But until then, I'm sorry. Everything needs to be in working order because everything here has been in working order and it's gonna maintain there. And I got the discipline to do nothing until quality come along. You heard.
Man, and on that note, on that incredible note, see a lot of them during their life that end up these 304 mothers instead of single mothers. A lot of them, even the single mothers, but I'd say the difference is I'll talk about the difference here and we can wrap it up. But a lot of these chicks end up looking for greener grass on the other side, what I'm saying, instead of like trying to grow that grass with you, they end up looking for greener grass on the other side, not realizing they got caught up in the forest fire. And so I think the difference between a 304 mother and a single mother is the single mother trying to literally come out that fire and not put that fire on you. And literally the 304 mother come out of that fire, fire breathing dragon. It's just a matter of time.
Couldn't have said it better myself. But yeah, hey, anytime, we got to get this up and rolling, to all those in
Sir.
the clouds that's listening in. There's the other Ray J and Venom G54. We appreciate y'all coming through and checking in with us. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you enjoyed our perspective and our opinions on what we're delving into to explain the scorched earth situation where it's scorched all because, hey, it can be a volcanic eruption. When that chaos is going off and that shit hits the fan, you best to have somebody nearby that you can hold on to and trust. And if you got to ride it out, ride it out.
Yep, this is serious. It's no games out here. These people playing games, but it's getting serious. You got to really think about it. There's people around the world in other parts. They do have the mindset that we're talking about, but we're just trying to let people know in the West, y'all need to catch up. Especially these chicks out here. Some guys are already starting to wake up and they're doing things different. So the Black Knight actually, and even some monks, is just more or less still kind of trying to be Noah before the ark is fully built. At this point.
Just gonna have to salvage a few, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully plant a seed to change your mind. Because to watch them go out there in their youth and waste everything they have of value and set themselves up for failure, that is like a painful expression as a father that wasn't even allowed to parent. So regardless, I'm in it for the youth. I want the youth to at least wake up, not have to make the mistakes that they elders made or that they peers is making, but listen to some wisdom of some folks that done knocked their head quite a few times and figured out how to get it right, and then known how to just live by their word, go from that, and let that be the character that shine through to attract something so that you attract what you are. Somebody that's got that honor, integrity, and character.
Yes, indeed. And on that note, we'll see y'all next time. Stay out the flames. Stay out the
Peace.
flames. All right, y'all.